Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Money Mondays. Come on in. I'm just making sure everything is set up correctly. Testing my tech. They won't catch me slipping. Who is they? I don't know. But welcome. We're having part two of our discussion that we had last week. So I'm super excited. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 7-step formula for achieving financial freedom. Okay. And this is piggybacking on our cash flow quadrants from last week. So come on in. I'm going to let you guys get in here. I have my computer as my backup just in case. You never know. So let me get to the group so I can see what's going on in here. I think it's working. I don't know. Hey, Marquita, how you doing? Welcome to Money Mondays. I'm double checking that I can see your comments. Shoot me a comment, Marquita. Test it for me since you're the first one-on-one. Let me see if I can see it. Nope, I don't think I can see it. Okay, well, it's acting up tonight, so y'all know how it does. It's real finicky acting. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it cuts up. So welcome. Let me get off of here. Yeah. Oh, I can't see your comments. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Marquita. Okay. Good. We're going to start promptly at 9 o'clock, but sometimes I like to get on earlier just to make sure that the tech is working, make sure I can see your comments, make sure, the bandwidth and the Wi-Fi is all set up. So welcome. If you're just getting on, we're going to cover I like to say it right, the 7-step formula for achieving financial freedom. This is piggybacking on our discussion from last week about the cash flow quadrant. So that's what we're going to be covering tonight. Super excited. It's some common sense rules in here and some common sense things to consider, but it's some things in here that we may not consider as well. So I'm going to give you the 7 steps tonight. So make sure that you have your pen and your paper because we're going to get started promptly at 9 o'clock. I have my computer here as my backup, so I'm just double checking my time. You all know I like to start on time. I like to be, respectful of your time so we can get as much in as we can for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes. But yeah, so welcome to Money Mondays. Come on in. I know we're a little early. I'm going to read these comments. I've already read them like 100 times, so I want to read these notes and make sure that I have everything in good order. Yeah. So we're also going to be talking about, I'm going to give you an update of my No Spend March, and we're going to talk about how that's going. If you don't know about No Spend March is basically where we're not spending any money, okay? So no fast food, no shopping, no nails, no hair, no entertainment, no concerts, no movies. Of course, hopefully you wouldn't be doing those things anyway, but none of that. Hey, Carla, welcome. And I'll just tell you how that's been going for me. I have spent a little money, and I'm going to give you what I've spent and the reasons after we're finished with tonight's session. But overall, I think it's going well. My motivation for doing Money Mondays was just kind of like to stop the frivolous spending. It's not embarrassing, but I bought 3 coats in like a month and a leather jacket. That's excessive. So the purpose of No Spend March was just to get a control of the spending, kind of slow down a little bit and really figure out, okay, let me recenter on my goals. Hey, Erica, welcome to Money Mondays. Let me recenter on my goals. Let me refocus. Sometimes you have to do that with your money where you get a little, rah, blah, blah, and you get to just spending it. So you gotta have to pull back and say, okay, wait a minute. Just because I can afford 3 coats doesn't mean I need 3 new coats. Like that's excessive. So that was the purpose behind Money No Spend March. So, you know, just a little backstory. So hopefully it's been working for you. Hopefully you've been being more conscious with your spending, and just really getting a gaining more control over your money and not spending as much. Even though in our budget we get life money, and so life money is to play with, you still can be kind of a little reckless with that. So I just want to slow down a little bit and really focus on generating income this month rather than just blowing money like a drug dealer. Okay. It's almost 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get started. If you missed last week's session of Money Mondays, you may want to go back and rewatch it. Last week we covered Robert Kiyosaki's, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, his cash flow quadrant. Okay, so just to recap, the cash flow quadrant has 4 parts. On one side of the quadrant is the active side. It's where you're actually working for your money. So if you're an employee, that's one of the spaces on the quadrant. Or if you are a self-employed person, that's one of the spaces on the active quadrant. On the passive side of the quadrant, that means that your money is working for you. So you don't have to do anything. Your money is just working. So on the passive side, there are two slots, and it is B for business owner or big business, and then I for investor. So go back and review that video if you did not watch. We talked about the difference in the different quad spaces, the importance of each quad, what you have to do, what you have to learn to kind of get your mind set to that quadrant. So go back and rewatch that. Tonight, we're talking about the 7-step formula for achieving financial freedom. And this is also from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I told you guys last week that probably about 15 years ago, I attempted to read the book, but it just wasn't resonating with me for whatever reason. Hey, Candy, welcome to Money Mondays. Good to see you here. It didn't resonate for me. So I think I need to reread it. I have a couple books. Hey, Tina. I have a couple books ahead of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I haven't even rebought it, but I plan to. Anywho, I hope you have your pen and piece of paper because I'm going to give you the 7 steps that I found. I'm also going to share in the group the link that I found with some more helpful information so you guys can, you know, have an advantage and see some of the research that I found during my search of this topic. So you can kind of read through it and get a better understanding. So I will be sharing that after this session has ended. So keep an eye out for that. But so let's go ahead and dive into the 7 steps. So the first step in the formula for achieving financial freedom is to what? Mind your own business. That's chief. That's number 1. What does that look like? That looks like making sure your goals are in order. That looks like not gossiping about people. That looks like focusing on what you want to do, where you want to go, coming up with your long-term and short-term goals. That means saying no to family members that waste their money and then call you to bail them out. That means figuring out like what your plan is, like what are you going to do, and then not actually just figuring that out, but putting that plan into action. Every time I think back over my life, like when I, you know, was busy, like being in other people's business or gossiping or being messy, it was always because I wasn't minding my own business. So the first step, the number 1 thing that you need to do in your quest to millionaire status and to achieving financial freedom is minding your own business. Now, I forgot that I wanted to talk about this before I actually got into the steps. So let me go back. Achieving financial freedom means different things for different people, right? So I think what's going to be paramount in our journey is to figure out what financial freedom looks like for us. So for one person, financial freedom may be $1 million in the bank, right? For another person, financial freedom may be retiring at 40. For another person, financial freedom may be helping your parents or buying them a house or buying them a new car or having the option to do what it is that you want to do. So you need to figure out what financial freedom looks like for you, okay? That's going to determine how you move and the things that you do. We're all different, right? And that's a good thing, and we don't all want the same thing. So we have to remember, like, just because so-and-so wants to be a billionaire, that may not be my goal, right? I may my idea of financial freedom may be to make so much money that I can give it all away. So you have to figure that out first, okay? And then, number one, you have to mind your own business. So start focusing on your business, your own business, what you want to do. And when I say your own business, I'm not talking about an actual business. I'm talking about your life, right? That's the first thing that you need to do on the steps to financial freedom. The next thing that you need to do is take control of your cash flow, right? So in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talks about finding your cash cow. So going back to the cash flow quadrant, figuring out what quadrant works for me, right? Maybe you're someone who doesn't mind being an employee, which was 100% okay. But what else are you going to do to make sure you can generate wealth and generate money so that you can become financially free? Or are you going to say, okay, I'm still going to work. I'm a teacher. I love to teach. That's what my passion is. That's what my purpose is. But I want to get serious about my investments, right? That's okay. If you're an investor, you know you're on the passive side of the quadrant. So you know you can start investing your money and obtain financial freedom that way. So that's always an option. But the second thing that you need to do is figure out what cash flow quadrant you're going to be in, what box you're going to be in, and figure out how to get there. Okay. Number 3 is knowing the difference between risk and risky. And that's a very weird question. So I had to do some more research, right? Because when you hear risk and risky, you automatically think it's the same thing. So this is what I found. Risk is when you could lose, right? It's a possibility that you could lose. There is a hazard, right? When you're taking a risk. Risky is dangerous. Okay, so when you think about risk, most successful people, most wealthy people, most millionaires, they take risk. They take calculated risk. Most unsuccessful people, most people who may not have as much money, they are risky, right? They do things that are super risky. So let's dig further. So taking risk looks like taking $1,000 and investing it in the stock market, or investing it in your business, or investing it in a course so that you can gain more knowledge about whatever it is that you want to do. Being risky looks like taking $1,000 and going to the casino and blowing it. That's dumb. Okay, so that's the difference between being risky and taking a risk. So you have to know the difference between risk and risky, right? Yeah, if you walk away from your job to put your all into your business, that's a risk, right? But if you're walking into it with a plan, there's a possibility that you could lose, but there's also a possibility that you'll win. So just think about that when you're figuring out the difference between risk and risky. When you're making decisions, ask yourself, am I taking a calculated risk? Am I being, or am I taking a risk, or am I being risky? Like, am I being smart about my decision, or am I just acting on impulse? And so once I think we figure that out, it'll be easier to get to the next step. 4 is to decide what kind of investor you want to be, right? So investing is, I won't say it's simple, but it's a way to make some long residual money. Now, here's the thing with investing. Usually when you invest, you have to invest large amounts of money. So that's why they always say start out early with your investments, because compounding, it'll grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So you need to figure out what kind of investor you're going to be. What are you going to invest in? What is your risk tolerance? How much can you take? Are you in it for the long term or the short term? Those are things that you need to figure out. And then 5 is something that I'm kind of struggling with right now. 5 is to seek a mentor. And so here's the thing about mentors. There are people who do want to give you information. They do want to mentor you. But the issue that I find is finding those people. So you don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to do some more research this week and hopefully have something for you guys by the end of the week about how to find a mentor. Because this is probably, since we've been doing Money Mondays every week, this is probably the 8th or 9th time that this tip has come up to get to millionaire status. So I think it's paramount and it's important that we get serious and we start thinking about, okay, how can I find a mentor? What does that look like? What does that mentor-mentee relationship look like? And how can I find somebody that's willing to mentor me and then foster their relationship? Okay, so look for that this week. If I don't have anything, I'll check in and let you guys know. But I need to do some more digging because I need to figure out, where do you find a mentor, right? Of course, if you're in an organization, it's going to be easier to find a mentor, you know. Mr. So-and-so, he sits on the 8th floor. I could just pop in his office. But if you're looking to get into business, how do you find a business mentor? So let me do some more digging. And then 6 is make disappointment your strength. That is a great tip. I think anytime we are trying to accomplish something and get to the next level, you know things are not going to go your way every single time. And so a lot of people, they get disappointed, they get discouraged, and then they quit. But if you make disappointment your strength, if every time you're disappointed, it makes you stronger, you're going to have Hercules strength at the end of the day. Okay? And then 7 is the power of faith. You have to believe in what you're doing. Okay? Point blank, period. People are not going to believe in what you're doing if you're not going to believe in what you're doing. So you have to have faith that whatever you're working towards, whatever idea you have, whatever it is you want to do, wherever you're going, you have to have faith that you're going to get there. And I think that's going to be paramount. That's mindset, right? And we know mindset is a part of millionaire status. So you have to have faith that what you're doing is working. I cannot tell you, I'll give you a personal example. Some of you all know this, but my husband and I decided to move to Dallas within 6 months. So we decided in February or March that we were moving, and we went to a couple cities. We visited a couple cities, and we decided Dallas is where we want to move. And within 6 months, by that August, we were in Dallas. And I cannot tell you all how many people tried to discourage us from moving, how many people tried to put fear in us, how many people said, oh, you guys sure you want to move? You don't have family down there, you don't have a job, blah, 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 blah. And we just had faith it was going to work out. And guess what? It's working out. So I lost my place. Those are the 7 steps. So if you're serious about ascending to millionaire status, those are the 7 steps for achieving financial freedom. Okay. 1 is time to mind your own business. Numero uno, worry about yourself. 2 is take control of your cash flow, right? So find your cash cow and figure out where you're going to land on the quadrant. 3 is knowing the difference between risk and risky. 4 is deciding what kind of investor you want to be. 5 is to seek a mentor. And 6 is to make disappointment your strength. And then lastly, 7 is the power of faith. Okay. So if you can take at least one of these steps and start incorporating it in your day to day, right? Preferably starting with the first step. These are they don't appear to be in any order except for number 1. It's time to mind your own business. So let's start there with minding our own business, not being worried about what cousin so-and-so or aunt who and who, what they doing. I don't care. Mind your own business. So let's start there. So that's Money Mondays. I wanted to check in with you all and kind of give you some encouragement for No Spend March. If you're participating in No Spend March, I wanted to give you just an idea of how it's going for me. I kind of talked about this earlier, but I feel like it's a success so far. I know we're only 8 days into the month, but I really wanted to focus on being more conscientious with my spending. Sometimes when you have money coming in, from wherever, it's easy to start blowing that money. So I really want to take March to kind of slow down and focus on generating income versus spending like crazy. So during the first 8 days of the month, I did purchase a couple things. The first thing that I bought was something for work. So I got a new position at work. It's a brand new position. It's never been in the organization before. It's brand new to me. And so I've been doing a lot of research. So one of the things that I purchased was a training course. It was like $16. And so I purchased that. And then I purchased a subscription to an app. So I downloaded an app. It's a membership that goes with the app. It's like $8 a month. But they sent me an email where it was going to be $14 for the year. So I bought that. So far this month, I've spent probably about $30 something. So that's it. That's all. Hopefully you stick with it. Hopefully you have come up with your goal amount that you want to have in your account or in cash that you want to spend. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Marquita. It's definitely a blessing. I don't think I told you guys this. I don't know why I would have told you this, but basically I work for a college. The college went through a restructure, and we have been going through the restructure since March of last year, so a year. And it was crazy. They were slicing and dicing A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are still losing their jobs. And it was just a blessing to still be employed and have a position and be in an organization where I can be authentically who I am. That's really important to me right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so that's it for No Spend March and Money Mondays. I really hope that you guys are participating in No Spend March, or at least doing a modified version, so that we can just be more conscientious of how we spend. I know last year when everything shut down for those 3-4 months, we saved so much money on eating out. We saved so much in gas. We saved just so much money. Like I talked to you guys a few weeks ago about how to blow $10,000, and that's so true. Like if you are just spending, you may want to consider doing No Spend March or a modified version of it, so that you can kind of refocus, right? You know how you go on a diet or like a cleanse and you do like a month or something like that. Just refocus. So that's it. As always, we will be having Money Mondays next week, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I usually don't know the topics that we'll have. I try to look for inspiration. So I've said this before. If you have any ideas or you want to host Money Mondays, let me know. We can definitely arrange that. But we'll be here next week. And that's all I have. I'm done talking. So thank you all for coming. Thanks, Candy, Marquita, Natalie, Carla, or Erica, Sheila. Oh, Sheila, I didn't know you weren't here. Thanks for attending Money Mondays, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.